Good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. And what we do here, for anybody that might be new, is we go over crypto news, typically from the day before or whatever we could find last evening. And I go over it with all of you guys. I would normally be doing this by myself. So we have Jamie Dimon talking a lot of shit about Bitcoin, but yet he's still involved in the Bitcoin ETFs as an active participant for BlackRock, which is kind of I mean, it's nothing new, right? We've seen this time and time again. Let's see who's in the chat first, and then we're gonna get into this a little bit. Charles Harris, what's up, man? Thanks for being first in the chat. Actually, I don't know if you were first. I can't scroll up any further, but thanks for being first on my list. We have Chris Hanley, all set. What's up, man? Nerd Beast, Tim I Am Crypto, good morning. Anthony Denizzo says, good morning. All from me and the Calvin and the Hobbes, piston on the SEC, enjoying my morning coffee in the new mug. I'm glad you like it, buddy. Glad you like it. I'll show you guys crypto merch in a little bit. Big Black, what's up, man? Good to see you. Dom G, let's see, Chris Hanley, Dumpster Fire, my man. Let's see, scrolling down a little bit. Dakota, AC Mining, Crypto KJ, thank you for reaching back out in Discord and sending me that video. So I'm going to show you guys a video about JP Morgan being shady. It's a super old video. You guys have probably seen it before, but yeah, I could not for the life of me remember it, and Crypto KJ had my back this morning, so I appreciate it. Crypto Backer, Duke Nukem, Gene, good morning, good morning. Blaine Anderson, Andrew Masad, Dan R, good to see you guys. All right, anybody I might have missed, I apologize. Let's get into the market. So we're looking like Bitcoin 42,440, Ethereum looks like 25.10, Solana's down to 98 bucks. Everything looks pretty red today. ETC's taking a nice pullback at $25. I mean, we saw it run up what, 50, no, it was, what was it, 30% or so, and there was really no reason behind it, so that was kind of interesting. We have Kaspa. Oh man, what is happening there? Down 10.5 cents. It's actually at 10 cents, so it's, I mean, it's still holding. It's fine, no big deal. If it gets under 10, then yeah, I guess we have something to worry about. Dogecoin under 8 cents. Oh man, things are looking down today. Overall though, looking at Bitcoin, guys, we were 43,000 before the ETF was launched, and now we're at 42.4. This was not a sell the news event. This was just an excitement in the market, and it went back to normal Bitcoin action, right? And if you look on the weekly chart, I don't have the charts up, but if you look on the weekly candles, right, the weekly candle is actually, if you could literally just erase the wick and the bodies of the candles look exactly the same, because it was not an actual sell the news event. Oh man, Mr. Power Mines, man, you know, I was hoping Power Mines crypto was going to be here this morning. Sia coin made the top 10, and I just had it up and it just disappeared in front of our eyes. So that's bruh. Yeah, big oops. Let's see, Miss Pocket Change, good morning, good morning. Nicholas, what's up, man? I have bad news for you. Kaspa is the S coin. Nicholas Pitts, oh man, coming in hot. It is at the end of the day, but until you use it, you'll understand what people see. All right, let's look at this. So we have Hex up 14.7% over here in Crypto Bubbles on the day. We have Pulse Chain, which is up 11.8%, ranked 76. ETC again down 5.5%. Everything else is kind of just whatever. Yeah, I mean, Beam's down 12%, 69 ranking. It's at a cent, almost 2 cents. Let's see, Andrew Masad is doing well, hanging in there. Nice. All right, let's check out the Fear and Greed Index, guys. There's really nothing to really talk about here on price action. Everything looks pretty neutral or down a bit. We're looking like 63 in the greed still. To me, this is neutral. I'm assuming there's just some sort of reactions from this whole Jamie Dimon talking shit on live TV, but what else is new? He's probably buying up in the background like he always does. All right, top 10 coins over here by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, USDC, Lado Staked, Ether, Cardano, and Avalanche. Avalanche again still topping Dogecoin by about 1.5 billion market cap. Let's scroll down a little bit. Litecoin in 21st. Again, I think this coin is severely undervalued, at least in my opinion. $68. And the reason I say that is most places will accept, you know, Litecoin and Bitcoin as payments, and you can't really say that about many other coins. Do you know what I mean? Crypto Frank, good morning. Did the Sia bubble just pop? Yeah, Crypto KJ, I'm not sure what just happened with that, but yeah, Sia coin definitely just popped off the top 100 list. All right, we have in 26th place Ethereum Classic at $25, again 19 cents. Let's see, Kaspa's down in 40th, again $2.3 billion market cap. That's still a lot of money into a brand new coin. All right, let's get into the mining segment of things. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about. All right, looking over here, we have the wind miner K9 still top of the charts, 83.21 per day. That's getting pretty rough. It's going down by the second. Again, it relates to the Kaspa price, so is what it is. We have the Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $63.10 per day. The KS3 M6 terahash unit making $44.93 a day. The X16P, I have personally been doing some testing with this, and yesterday's results are pretty nice. Today's results I'm not so sure of, but this unit I will be making a video at some point, probably this weekend. It is making $20.28 per day. Again, this is all after 10 cents kilowatt hour. As you raise this price, it will adjust this, right? Because you'll be paying more out in electric. Just for anybody that doesn't understand this site. We have the Ice River KS2 2 terahash unit, $14.82 a day. It's getting so bad every day. It's getting so bad, guys. If you have any questions, just add me in the chat, please. Let's see. Steven Cicero, just let it go. It will come back. Absolutely it will. Let's see, the KS1, we have $7.41 a day. Bruh, that is terrible. That's really shitty. That's really low. That's probably the lowest we've seen, I think. Am I wrong? Is that the lowest we've seen? $7.41? Anybody know? That's terrible. Oh my god. We have the X16Q actually making $6.86 a day, and I have this thing in my garage. Actually, I'm actually solo mining on it, and I'll keep you guys informed on the video that I'm doing this weekend. We have the L79050 version. This is the thing I have down at Terra Hosting. If you guys are interested, links in the description. Shout out to Terra Hosting. Oh, by the way, guys, no, huge deal. They're giving away, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 big ASICs on Friday on Mr. Hawk Crypto Mining stream. So if you guys aren't subbed to Hawk Crypto, go check them out. I'll put an announcement in my Discord later and on YouTube, probably on Friday when it's going to happen, just a couple hours before. But seriously, like, why wouldn't you do it? They're giving you 2 months of free hosting and giving away a massive ASIC. So like, if you guys aren't going to be there, I mean, I definitely will. I hope I win it. Not gonna lie. I'm just kidding. If I win, I would probably pass it off to one of you guys, but it's just yeah, you guys should definitely just please don't miss it. Like, it's such a good opportunity. It's crazy. All right, anyways, the X16P, sorry, X16. If I could speak this morning, I meant to say the S19 XP 140 terahash unit making $4.47 a day. Man, these things, like, I would have expected these to hold up a bit more, like, per day, right? Especially with the cost of the price of the units and stuff. I have an S19K I just purchased, 120 terahashes, making $3.40 a day. And yeah, guys, really nothing else I really want to look at besides the Ice River KS0 Pro. Again, 200 gigahashes. This is the unoverclocked version Pro, right? 100 watts. We're getting $1.53 a day, 16 Kaspa. Honestly, it's, I mean, yeah, it sucks, right? At the end of the day, it's definitely right, but it's not too bad. It is what it is, right? Support the network, keep stacking coins, and hodl until after the bull run. Let's see. Have you tried your KSO on the new coin Gore? It's K heavy hash. No. Gore. What the hell is that? GOR? Gore. I don't know. Which one? What is it? Is it on CoinGecko? Probably not. Gore. Mr. DJ Mines. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. We have man, what is this Gore? New coin Gore. It's K heavy hash. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Is it even on miningpool.stats? Let's see. Oh, it's miningpool stats.stream, right? If I could type. Coffee's in the way. New coin Gore. I don't see anything. Mr. Ted, if you could elaborate a little bit, would love you long time. Did it just come out today? Because I don't I'll have to look into it while we're watching some stuff, because I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. All right, let's check out. It probably won't work, says Steven Cicero. All right, let's get into GPUs. Look at this. Pyron's on the top of the charts again. Wow. NVIDIA RTX 4090 is making the most on Pyron. 4080, 4070. So it looks like the 40 series. Pyron's taking over. Wow, look at that. We have Hypera and a lithium. Hypera, if you guys don't know, it's, what is it? ETH Man, what is it? Something was rebranded to this, to Hypera. I don't remember what it was. I don't mind it. It's another shit coin. But that and Elysium is on the top of the charts. We have Nexa as well, next to Pyron. Let's see, Sky Doge for the 7900 XTX. Wow, interesting. ASICS and Nexa on the 3090 Ti. That's interesting. That's a weird combination. We have the regular 3090 Pyron and CFX and Radiant. Nice. Wow, there's actually a plethora of coins on this list today. I was not expecting that, to be honest. Let's see, Ethereum, that's what it is. Thank you very much, Flying High, appreciate you. Crypto KJ says Gore is a scam, don't promote it. No, I ain't promoting nothing. I just wanted to see what the hell it was. Static's Discord, they are saying it got hacked. You know what, that is so weird that you say that. I never have pings on Discord, like the @everybody alerts, and I got an alert last night that said like airdrop blah blah blah, and I was like, that seems sketchy. So if they actually did get hacked, that's interesting. I was wondering if I should like alert people, but I never did, so I'm gonna look into that today, actually see what that's about. Guys, if you're interested in any crypto merch, this is where somebody up in the top of the chat was talking. This is my merch store. It's in the link in the description. If you guys are interested, feel free to check it out. All right, let's get on to the news stuff, and then we'll start watching some news videos, news clips. BlackRock, as you guys know, names JPM, Jane Street, as authorized participants for the spot Bitcoin ETF, right? This is old news, okay? This is old news, and it'll all make sense in a little bit. First things first, though, I want to watch this right here. This is ETF Edge. This is road ahead for Bitcoin ETFs. A little bit about them, right? And then we'll get into the meat and potatoes with Mr. Jamie Dimon talking shit about Bitcoin. All right, let's do it. If you guys have any questions, add me in the chat.
Bob Pisani has today's ETF Edge, and we're talking
real quick. Crypto KJ says Gore wallet has a back door, so I'd avoid it at all costs. Yes, guys, please don't download wallets or anything online that you don't know what it is, unless it's a dedicated PC and you don't give a shit if it gets bombed. Just don't mix it up with anything else.
Some of those crypto ETFs.
We are indeed, Scotty. Bitcoin ETFs launched last week with big volume. So how are they trading now? And what's next? Let's ask Catherine Clay. She's the Executive Vice President, Global Head of Derivatives at Cboe Global Markets. Catherine, thanks for joining us. Cboe launched 6 spot Bitcoin ETF products last week. Tell us, how are the products trading relative to Bitcoin? Are they tracking?
Yeah, the products came out with a bang, obviously. We saw good inflows into all 6 ETFs that are listed on the Cboe markets. And they continue to track closely with Bitcoin as expected. But the good news is that we're actually here, Bob, talking about the price movement of Bitcoin spot ETFs, which is long in coming, obviously. So celebrating the fact that we get to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's been 10 years, actually. So it seems like the next logical step is options on spot Bitcoin ETFs. What can you tell us about that process? How far along is Cboe with all of that?
We couldn't agree more that options are the next logical step on these ETFs. We really believe in an asset like crypto, and Bitcoin in particular, that options add exactly that utility that are really important for risk mitigation and additional opportunities for investors and traders to add to their portfolio. We filed with the SEC for permission to list options on Bitcoin ETFs last week. And so we're really in this holding pattern of waiting to see what the regulators will do with our filing and other exchanges' filings as well.
I know this is a new product, but how long would you anticipate it would take? Normally, it would be a couple months for a typical product, but I know that it's a new product. Will we see something before the end of the year?
It's really difficult to know even if we will see approval. So I want to stress that approval is not guaranteed, and certainly visibility into the timeline is difficult. I think for viewers, it's important to point out why these ETFs are a bit more nuanced than a traditional filing for options on an ETF, and that really comes to the fact that this ETF is based on spot Bitcoin. And so these are different than the historical ETFs we might list on other securities. And so there's more complexity in our rules around these types of filings. It also requires our Options Clearing Corporation to do similar filings with the SEC and the CFTC.
You know, I can't help but notice that Bitcoin's 2-year peak in price occurred the day the ETFs went public last Thursday. So there's this inclusion effect. We had a nice run up in Bitcoin going into it, and it's been down since then.
Well, people are excited. All right, listen, it started at 43,000. It ran up to 49, went back down to 43. It was excitement. Wasn't to sell the news. Wasn't anything special. Normal price action for Bitcoin, to be honest.
Well, as a trader myself, I remember the old adage, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. I think there was a lot of anticipation running into this announcement with the approved Bitcoin ETFs. There's no explaining day-to-day price movements of any security, let alone this one. I think right now we're in a little bit of a risk-off pattern if you look across the markets today. So it's hard to speculate on just day-to-day price movements.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. We're going to have a lot more on the next steps for Bitcoin ETFs coming up on ETF Edge. That's 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Are you sure?
Eat shit, Gary.
All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes here. This is JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon on Bitcoin. So he's gonna shit all over Bitcoin in this. It's gonna probably aggravate a lot of you guys. Hit that like button, please. I hate asking, but YouTube makes me. Let's do it.
We pivot to a topic that I know you find sort of laborious at this point.
It's a good word.
Which is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
This ETF was approved just about a week ago now, and I think a lot of people are trying to understand what it ultimately means. JP Morgan, I imagine if you were a client of JP Morgan, you could call your broker and say, get me some of this ETF.
Just listen to the arrogance in this asshole right here.
What are you telling your brokers?
And look at how uncomfortable this guy is, because he's a huge advocate for Bitcoin, and they're just complete opposites of the table. And I mean, obviously, you know, Jamie Dimon's a well-respected guy. He's got, like, you know, billions of dollars. He's not friggin' stupid by any means, but he just, like, man, he's shady as hell.
To tell them back when they make that call.
Yeah. So this is an important thing. This is the last time I've ever talked about this in CNBC. Okay. So help me God. Blockchain is real. It's a
so
technology.
cocky.
We use it. It's going to move money. It's going to move data. It's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years too, and it's very small. Okay, so
bullshit they have. All right, yeah, let's take all the credit for something they didn't do. Oh,
I think we've wasted too many words in that. Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and then we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing things.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, you know, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases, AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases.
Eat
and you
shit,
see it
Gary.
being used for hundreds, maybe 50, $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case.
Piece of
Everything
shit.
else is people train among themselves. So
Speculate.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, my last statement, the last time I ever talk about Bitcoin is
he gets called out. Just wait for it. He gets called out.
defend your right to do Bitcoin. I think, you know, it's okay. I don't want to tell you what to do. So my personal advice would be don't get involved. But I don't want to tell any one of you what to do. It's a free country.
What do you make of BlackRock? What do you make of the other?
I wish they were like, are you investing in Bitcoin? Because you know the answer is yes. You know it is.
The BlackRocks of the world that obviously, and Larry Fink changed his view of this, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe he changed his view because you think he genuinely believes in Bitcoin, or believes it because he thinks that there's a marketplace for it and he wants to be part of that market. But what do you think of there's about a dozen big financial companies, Fidelity included.
Number one.
Real quick. This is the reason I showed this. BlackRock names JPM, which is JP Morgan, as an authorized participant, okay, for their spot Bitcoin ETF. This is the reason I showed this. Listen to the arrogance in his voice. Mr. Geek of all trades. Thanks for coming here, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, let's get back into it.
Don't care. So just please stop talking about this shit.
He doesn't care. Let's just rewind that a little bit.
Big financial companies, Fidelity included.
Number one, I don't care.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Just please stop talking about this shit. And
he swears on TV.
I don't know what he would say about
I can't believe they let that go, actually.
Blockchain versus currencies that do something versus Bitcoin that does nothing. And maybe that's not different than me. But, you know, this is what makes a market. People have opinions. This is the last time I'm ever going to state my opinion.
Gold really didn't do anything either.
Listen to
But
this.
gold's limited in supply.
So is Bitcoin.
And it's been used. So you think so, huh?
I do.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins,
they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell do you know it's going to stop at 21? I've never met one person who told me they know for a fact they take that as...
Mathematically, it can't happen because by the last one will be mined in 2150, and it gets harder and harder every time there's another halving. But Jamie, looking back
you
over,
guys do what you want, I'll do what I want.
As for gold, you can the 6 characteristics that make gold valuable for 4,000 years. They're all present in Bitcoin. That's all I'll say. And I love you, and I don't want to. And I also don't want to be a.
You may, Joe. You may be right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't own gold either, so okay.
That's what I mean.
He's a lying sack of shit. I don't own gold either. Yeah, okay.
Well, quick final question.
I like to own things that pay me incomes. It doesn't cost money to carry. Anyway, and it costs money to carry Bitcoin too, by the way.
We've talked a lot about commercial real estate here in Davos. There was a big 60 Minutes piece on Sunday.
But I think there's another risk to Bitcoin. If you can't solve the bad use cases, the government's probably going to have to close it down.
Oh, what about the dollar? What about fiat? They close down the dollar? I'm pretty sure that's how you buy drugs in the corner from that guy with the baggies in his pocket.
So that the thing about the money laundering, you can look, here's the number was 20,000, I think, for U.S. dollars in money laundering, and it was 35 for how much is done with Bitcoin. So at this point, the dominant, I know, but the dominant,
we know about.
Historically, the dominant currency for money laundering has been U.S.
I understand.
Look,
I hit the wrong button. We have to rehear that.
Close it down. So that
the thing about the money laundering, you can look, here's the number was 20,000, I think, for U.S. dollars in money laundering, and it was 35 for how much is done with Bitcoin. So
I love how he's super respectful still by even calling him out. And I mean, and this is obviously some level of intimidation because this guy's beyond a billionaire, right? He'd probably literally buy everybody on this casting show and this entire show and just close it down if he wanted to. But realistically, he's not wrong. The U.S. dollar is 100% worse.
At this point, the dominant. I know, but the dominant.
We know about.
Historically, the dominant currency for money laundering has been U.S.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. He says because he has nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say.
Commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Do you have a take? We've been talking to a number of investors who've been sitting here talking about what it means to the debt markets, what it means to some of the smaller banks. Obviously, you have a big building going up, by the way, in New York, but the 3-day week, what that's going to mean longer term.
Yeah. So first of all, I think the value of old financial assets in America is 140 trillion. Commercial office real estate is
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to listen to this whole real estate thing. I don't want to listen to him talk about it anymore. I want to show you guys this though, because this is important. We're gonna listen to the first 3 minutes. Okay. So this is a very old video. The Great Crypto Conspiracy. Okay. This definitely, for one, deserves a like. 2. It's just listen to what is said in this video and pay attention to it because Jamie Dimon is shady as shit.
The question that I had for you the other day was, why are you calling this the Great Crypto?
And I know the quality is potato quality, but this was years ago.
Conspiracy. Okay. And when you explained it to me, it's really, people should go to jail, but it's not illegal.
No.
And this is really horrible. And it's why we all feel so freaked out. But they are feasting on our savings.
Eat shit, Gary.
It's an enormous robbery, quite honestly.
It's a huge transfer of wealth that's happening right now. The last time I saw something like this was back during 1994 to 1995. In the early to mid-90s, individuals were making just enormous amounts of money buying companies like Dell, AOL, Microsoft, Netscape, and some of these smaller internet stocks. And the institutions had completely missed that bull market. And so they were scoffing at these so-called lemmings. And so during 1994 to 1995, we had a bit of a bear market. And so, again, institutions were out saying that, oh, anybody buying internet stocks, you're idiotic. And so you had a lot of people selling their AOL, selling their Microsoft, selling their Dell shares.
Because of what people said.
Guess who was buying?
Because of what the big guys said.
Institutions. If you look at a chart of institutional allocation to venture capital internet deals, it doubled between 1994 to 1995, which was exactly when institutions were saying, oh, this is just a market for idiots. Nobody should be buying this stuff.
Now listen, he's getting to the point. It's I know it's potato quality. It sucks, and yes, it is a chalkboard. I know, it's very old, but it's so important to hear what he's saying right here.
So they literally stole all this wealth that should have been in the hands of individuals that own Dell, Microsoft, and AOL, And then from 1995 to 2000, of course, you know, we saw $5 trillion come into the market, in the biggest bull market we've ever seen.
Yep, internet bubble.
This blueprint of creating fear in order to get cheap prices is nothing new. So
and you know, hang on just a second before you go on.
Yeah.
This one is really important to me because the housing crisis, those banks, they bought up all of those houses. They were the ones who caused the problem.
Right.
Facts.
Then they were talking everything down and saying, "I'm just taking the junk off the table."
Yeah.
That's not junk now.
It's not junk. But not when it's up 40 to 60%. It's not junk. So this happened between 2011, 2012. Blackstone Group buys 50,000 homes, but during this period of time, the regular individual couldn't get a mortgage. Right? It was virtually impossible to get a mortgage during this time, exactly when institutions were buying. And then the dot-com crash in 03, if you can go back and look at old CNBC clips during 03, even as the market was starting to come up, oh, don't buy tech stocks. No, they're evil. Don't buy tech stocks. Don't buy tech stocks. But institutions, if you looked at the 10Ks, the Qs, and all of the filings, the quarterly filings, they were all loading up on tech.
This is how the rich get richer.
Yeah,
100%.
They know, they're connected. A lot of times they're coordinating without the insider trading. This is not illegal to do.
No, manipulating the news cycle, if you're smart about it, is they can get away with it. Nobody's ever been arrested for anything.
Isn't that messed
now,
up?
With crypto,
I watch this.
I know personally, I know people that would have gotten in or stayed in if these people weren't saying what they're saying.
Right, and so this has really been extremely egregious. So on September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen.
Again, why we're seeing a drop in the market today. It's by like $1,000. It's not much, but at the end of the day, that news just came out yesterday with that asshole, you know, talking out of his ass again.
So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
Really?
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, I mean, so unethical.
Right.
And he looks at all of us.
You are a loser. You always lose.
And that's what he says.
Okay, George Soros.
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, you know, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this, talking the sterling down.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He stole the pensions of all the little people.
Yeah, made a
Tell me this ain't messed up.
Okay, so then here now, Goldman Sachs, this, again, February 7th, most cryptocurrencies will crash to zero. Now, I remember when they said this in February, and I had, through my network, I knew that Goldman Sachs was setting up a crypto trading desk. Absolutely knew they were setting up a crypto trading desk. And
I remember you telling me that.
Right, and then, of course, they were denying it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Price falls down 27%, and then what do we find out? We find out here, they say BTC 0, and then we find out just before May, new trading desk. Not only that, they put $400 million to buy a cryptocurrency trading platform.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, dude, all these guys are so corrupt, it's not even funny. If you want to watch this whole video, it's in the link in the description. But shout out to Crypto KJ for sending this over to me, by the way. Thank you very much for that. But man, I literally couldn't remember the name of this. But the Great Crypto Conspiracy is what it is. And yeah, I mean, Jamie Dimon has been he's done it before. He's made the market fall before, and he's buying it up in the background. Do you think him being an active participant with BlackRock, do you think he actually means anything he just said on TV? Guys, it's literally all FUD. It's literally to scare you, to get you out so they can buy more and they can control your Bitcoin. That's 1,000% what they're doing. It's so shady and it's messed up that they can't get in trouble, but whatever, is what it is. All right, Bitcoin has a lot of opportunities. ETF will be a tailwind, says Piper Sandlers. I don't know. Anyways, let's see what this says. This is another video that came out the other day.
Welcome back to Power Lunch, everybody. Time now for some technical support. Our chartist today is Craig Johnson, and we're going to do something special today. You may have heard a great wide-ranging interview with JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon earlier today, so he'll set up all of our topics. First up, let's listen to Dimon's thought on China.
Again, this is a common, what is it, the saying, do as I say, not as I do. That's what they want you to do, right?
Anyone who's looking to invest in there has to be a little worried. So, and the risk reward has changed dramatically. And of course, it's a company like JP Morgan. I always say when it comes to foreign policy, Blinken decides and the president. I salute. I'm an American patriot, but they want us there. They're not asking American companies to leave. And being a premier bank in China helps us educate the government. It helps us educate the world about China. We bank, I'm going to say, 1,000 multinationals in China. So we obviously got to be very careful, and the laws have changed, and we have to change with the laws, both in China and America, and we're actively doing that.
Eat shit,
Gary. A pretty benign view there, Craig, on China. How would you play it?
Well, let's just take a look at the chart that we've got here. This long-term chart of China suggests it's been in this long-term downtrend for an extended period of time. And when we look at this chart, we can also see that all we're doing is just consolidating down here, Tyler. We're not doing anything. We're below the 50, the 200-day moving averages. And this looks like, sort of to us, this is not the best place to be if we're trying to make money. China does not appear to be working, and the downtrend is still very much intact here for KWeb.
No.
And the biggest holdings inside of here, like Tencent and Baba, these other names, they also look like they're breaking down, ready to take another leg lower. So
nothing in this chart says buy.
Nothing in this chart says buy. I'd rather buy here in the U.S. There's a lot better looking charts here in the U.S.
All right, next up, let's listen to what Jamie Dimon had to say about Bitcoin this morning, maybe for the last time ever.
You are a loser.
Now,
you
my
always
last
lose.
statement, the last time I ever talk about Bitcoin is I defend your right to do Bitcoin. I think, it's okay. I don't want to tell you what to do. So my personal advice is don't get involved. But I don't want to tell any one of you what to do. It's a free country.
My personal advice is don't get involved. Yet I'm an active participant with BlackRock. And then I'm going to say I don't care what they do or say.
It's a free country.
He's such a shithead.
It's a free country, Craig. We know what he thinks of Bitcoin, but a lot of people have made a lot of money in it lately.
Tyler, I'll tell you, I'll take the opposite trade of Jamie Dimon on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. From my perspective, if people want to trade them, they can trade them. I think there's a lot of opportunities here. I look at the chart here of Bitcoin, and we've made a huge looking base here on cryptocurrencies. And at this point in time, we've broken back above this sort of resistance level and this level, and we're setting ourselves for the next leg up. You got to keep in mind what they just said the other week. You got approval. We're now starting to get Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs. That's going to ultimately be a driver for cryptocurrencies.
Create demand.
And there's going to be a pickup in demand. And you can use these kind of products to exchange. I think a lot of countries around the world that lack banking can use cryptocurrencies. And that's where I think Bitcoin will ultimately continue to keep working.
All right, well, Jamie Dimon on line 6 for Mr. Johnson here.
I'll take that call all day long.
All right, lastly.
That'd be amazing. Guys, that like button, please. 61 likes, 154 people here. If we get to 100, that'd be amazing.
Dimon seems a little worried about the U.S. economy. Let's listen.
I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory. And, and when stock markets are up, it's kind of like this little drug we all feel. Like, it's just great, But remember, we've had so much fiscal and monetary stimulation. So I'm a little more on the cautious side, that we are facing a lot of things in 24 or 25.
All right, concerns on the horizon for the next 2 years. What does that say about his company, JP Morgan, if he thinks the economy is less than hunky-dory?
Yeah, so from my perspective, if I look at all the bank stocks at this point in time, I'm a little more constructive on the bank stocks, Tyler, than we've been in a while. And as I look at like JP Morgan, it's done well, it's performed well. You can see how we've been making these series of higher highs and higher lows on the charts, and we've kind of made this nice upward trending channel. I will tell you, though, Citigroup has outperformed JP Morgan coming off of the October lows of last year. But I do think as we move forward into 2024, with rate cuts expected from the Fed, we will see the financial stocks do well. The yield curve, 2 to 10 spread, is very close to inverting into a positive sloping curve for the first time we've seen in a while. That should be positive for financials, should be a positive for the banks and JP Morgan stock too. This is one I would continue to keep buying.
All right, Craig. He'll call you now and say what a great guy you are.
I'm sure he will. He'd be happy to hear those positive comments.
That's actually kind of funny. Not gonna lie, I didn't hear this. I didn't watch that prior. All right, let's get into the videos. So we got this is still kind of news. It's Crypto World, CNBC television. They kind of talk about Jamie Dimon being a POS and everything else. So let's get into it, guys. Hit that like button, please. Appreciate you.
Today, Jamie Dimon says he's done talking about crypto. The SEC and Coinbase face off in federal court.
Until he's not.
And the managing director at CoinDesk Indices breaks down what's behind crypto's price moves in the days after spot Bitcoin ETFs launched in the U.S.
Eat shit, Gary. You are a loser. You always lose.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Major cryptocurrencies are giving back yesterday's gains, with Bitcoin dropping more than 2% by noon Eastern. It fell back to the $42,000 level. Ether also in the red. It fell more than 1.5%. And Chainlink, meanwhile, a bright spot for crypto this morning. It rose more than 3.5% to $15.76.
Is anybody in on Chainlink? Let me know in the chat. Oh.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Bitcoin miner Core Scientific is marching ahead with its plan to exit bankruptcy. The company announced on Tuesday that a U.S. court had confirmed its restructuring plan, which would help it exit bankruptcy and relist shares on the NASDAQ by the end of January. Core said the plan means existing shareholders would get shares in the new common stock. It would also see the company's existing debt paid down entirely. Core Scientific will be exiting bankruptcy just weeks ahead of the halving, which is set to ramp up the pressure on mining companies as mining rewards get cut in half.
Hold on. Little Time Mining said my friend took out a loan for that ish for Chainlink. Took out a loan to buy Chainlink. I mean, good for him if he sold it and made money, but like, don't. Oh my God, please don't do that.
Next, the SEC and Coinbase are set to face off in federal court over whether the agency's lawsuit against the company can move forward. The Southern District of New York set aside 4 hours, divided equally, for the two sides to make their case on whether Coinbase's business model is breaking U.S. securities laws.
That's awesome. So the SEC and Coinbase head to federal court over the securities lawsuit. That's awesome. This is happening. What is this today? Was this today, actually? Because this video came out yesterday.
Coinbase is hoping to get the case dismissed based on its belief that the SEC is overreaching. The agency
Hold on, I want to rewind that. I want to see what day she said that was.
Off in federal court over whether the agency's lawsuit against halving, which is set to ramp up the pressure on mining companies as mining rewards get cut in half. Next, the SEC and Coinbase are set to face off in federal court over whether the agency's lawsuit against the company can move forward. The Southern District of New York set aside 4 hours, divided equally, for the two sides to make their case on whether Coinbase's business model is breaking U.S. securities laws. Coinbase is hoping to get the case dismissed based on its belief that the SEC is overreaching. The agency, on the other hand, still believes Coinbase allowed the trading of more than a dozen crypto tokens that should have been registered as securities, and that Coinbase's staking program should have registered with the agency. And finally, CNBC is on the ground.
All right, if anybody knows in the chat what day that is, let me know. I'm going to look it up, though.
At the World Economic Forum in Davos and caught up with JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon. He's long been a critic of most crypto, and now he says he's tired of talking about it, but still sees the potential of blockchain.
This is the last time I've ever talked about this in CNBC, okay? So help me God. Blockchain is real, it's a technology. We use it, it's going to move money, it's going to move data, it's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years too, and it's very small. Okay, so I think we've wasted too many words in that. Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and that we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here.
Real quick, thank you, Mr. Max Voltage. You said no decision was made. It was yesterday. He said we'll be 1 to 3 months before a decision is made. Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Our use cases: AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see it being used for hundreds, maybe $50, $100 billion a year for that.
Oh, really? What about the U.S. dollar? What about all those sweet Benjis that like you could literally touch any of them and there's cocaine on them? Like
that
what?
is the end use case.
Fuck
Everything else is people train among themselves.
Dimon also made it clear if you want to invest in Bitcoin, he's not going to stop you.
Now, my last statement, the last time I ever talk about Bitcoin is I defend your right to do Bitcoin. I think, it's okay.
I actually got a ledger in my pocket right here.
I don't want to tell you what to do.
Rock.
So my personal advice is don't get involved, but I don't want to tell any one of you what to do. It's a free country.
All right, for our main story, crypto got a new benchmark today that's meant to show how the market is doing broadly. It's called the CoinDesk 20 Index. Think of it like the S&P 500 for cryptocurrencies. Crypto World's Talia Kaplan spoke with Andy Baer, managing director at CoinDesk Indices, about the new benchmark as well as what's driving crypto prices in the week after spot Bitcoin ETFs began trading in the U.S.
You know what? I just had a great idea. I'm going to make a new sweatshirt today that says "My Pet Rock" with Bitcoin symbol on a rock on a sweatshirt. That'd be great. If you guys have any ideas, let me know.
This morning, CoinDesk introduced an index which measures the performance of the top digital assets, including Bitcoin and Ether. I'll ask you all about that new benchmark in just a bit, but I want to start off by focusing on what has been happening to crypto prices since those spot Bitcoin ETFs went live last week. Following the SEC's landmark approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, the price of Bitcoin initially jumped above $49,000, but then gave back gains, and this morning was trading at the $42,000 level. So what do you think is happening there?
Well, last week we all gathered around our screens to watch what we call the season finale of the crypto winter. And that absolutely did not disappoint. There was intrigue with the purported hack of the SECx.com account. There was drama with battling statements between SEC Chair Gensler and Commissioner Pierce. And there was an exciting but orderly first day of trading as the crypto world and the ETF world kind of did their big production number. In the end, it was a really successful launch with a lot of blockbuster statistics. There were some dire
predictions. You just scared the shit out of me, Albie. This stream didn't stop. Everybody can still see me, right? Please.
Predictions of a real sell the news depression in the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin had been trading in the low 40s before we got very close to ETF launch day. And it feels like it has regained some support above that 42,000 level. So I think we have to just zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger price trend and see that the price of Bitcoin is pretty stable. That being said, our Bitcoin trend indicator is signaling a weakening of Bitcoin's uptrend since that started back in October.
Interesting. Now, I checked the numbers this morning and all the spot Bitcoin ETFs are in the red since launching last Thursday, anywhere between around 7 and 17%. Obviously, Bitcoin is down since those products launched, as you astutely noted, but most of the spot ETFs are down more than the price of the cryptocurrency. So what do you think is happening there?
I think it really depends on when people actually got into the ETFs and at what prices. I think that what we have noticed is that the prices of the ETFs and the prices of their NAVs, or the reference price of Bitcoin, have been tracking pretty accurately. So we think that investors should feel as if the ETFs properly reflect their exposure to Bitcoin. Again, hopefully most people are looking at Bitcoin as a longer term holding and a 2 to 3 or 4 or 5% allocation in their long-term portfolios, in which case they should be thinking about the future of finance and kind of letting these first couple of days get by us.
Man, I wish somebody could find like JP Morgan's Bitcoin address or something just to see how much like Bitcoin they actually hold.
Another interesting market note, Ether has outperformed Bitcoin recently, climbing 16% last week. The cryptocurrency is now trading around the $2,500 level. So why do you think Ether has been outperforming Bitcoin? Is it because investors now see a path forward for spot Ether ETFs?
I think that,
guys, don't sleep on Ethereum. I know you guys hate it, but it's again, emotions, take emotions out of it. It's going to perform well, and it could be buy the rumor, sell the news event. So that's why we're seeing ETH Ethereum rise.
That's a great point. And after trailing Bitcoin's really powerful performance in 2023, Ether has sort of put its uniform back on and gotten back in the game. There is a lot of speculation around when the US will allow Ether ETFs. Investors who start to think about Ether and the Ethereum network will soon realize that there's a staking yield inherent in the price of Ether, which we at CoinDesk Indices measure with a measure called Caesar. And how that yield is actually going to find its way into investor pockets and investor accounts is something which is yet to be worked out. So I think there's a lot of mechanics to get through. in the United States. Other countries are going through the same thoughts. Eventually, I think we'll get there, and that will help, bring a really quite different digital asset to join Bitcoin as the first two kind of mega tokens to be available in ETF form.
Mega tokens.
Turning back to the new index, along with the launch, the bullish digital asset exchange listed a new perpetual futures contract of the CoinDesk 20 index.
Real quick, Crypto 440, that's a great question. What has more upside potential, Solana or Ethereum? That's a fantastic question, actually. I think it would be easier for Solana to 5x versus Ethereum to 5x, considering. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm not sure.
What was the impetus behind these ideas, and how does it all work exactly?
So we're really excited today.
I would probably go with Solana. Yeah, I'd probably go with Solana. But, man, yeah, let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Solana or Ethereum, like upside potential, regardless of how you actually feel about it?
Because we're launching the CoinDesk 20 index. This is going to be the new reference of the digital asset class for everyone, for trading, for investing, and for referencing. Now that Bitcoin ETFs and soon Ether ETFs will be available, it's a great time for investors and advisors and institutions to spend more time thinking about digital assets. They'll soon realize that there's a wide variety of tokens out there with very different characteristics to Bitcoin and to Ether, and that there's diversification opportunities available. The CoinDesk 20 index is built to reference that new digital asset class in the same way equity or commodity indices are designed to reference those asset classes, but it's also built to trade. And as you noted on the bullish exchange, perpetual futures contracts, which is a really institutional crypto native tool for trading assets very quickly and very efficiently, launched yesterday. And we've already had more than $10 million of CoinDesk 20 trade as an index perp future.
So focusing on those spot Bitcoin ETFs, what was your initial reaction to that landmark decision? Did you see it coming? And what does the approval of these ETFs signal to you?
Frankly,
Drafted said, is he in a public bathroom? It kind of looks like it.
I was delighted by how much drama there was left in that last season finale episode, because this is something we've all been thinking about for years. And it's really, frankly, for those of us who are in the industry and think about all digital assets and the digital asset class every day, we're kind of glad to see a lot of 2023's sort of dirty dishes get done and put away. Between the court cases and the lawsuits and the regulator slow movement and waffling in lawsuits there too, and the disposition of bad behavior from 2022, it's all part of that season, which we're happy to close. We really love the breadth of the ETFs that are on offer right now. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust conversion leaves it to be really by far the largest ETF available. We see that they've filed for some follow-on products to make the environment even richer and to pursue different outcomes. So now we see an environment where it's kind of okay to really think about using a Bitcoin ETF in a portfolio. Other outcomes will be addressed with different objectives and different products coming up in the very near future. We'll have some things to share there soon. And we think kind of the game's afoot. Most investors, though, once they really get involved and get educated, will think, what else can I do? Where can I find diversification? And that's exactly why the launch of the CoinDesk 20 right now is so important.
What have you been paying attention to since these ETFs started to trade in the US? What trends have been standing out to you since they launched?
I think the most important trend is that, Bitcoin, actually the ETFs launched 1 week after Bitcoin's 15th birthday. And those of us who have been watching digital assets for many years realize that this started as a retail trading pastime. It's almost like a hobby for many folks, although for some it was a very, very serious hobby. And institutional adoption has been a little slower because guess what? Institutions don't have hobbies, but people do. What we've been really noticing is how the institutional financial framework has come in to support liquidity in many different ways. So how authorized participants for ETF companies have come up the learning curve to support these new giant ETFs, how the futures markets and the spot markets have started to integrate even better, And of course, offshore, where we see a lot of trading in perpetual futures, which is a real specialist product for crypto, those have really come alive, especially on the bullish exchange. And so now having index perps and really having an index level really represents the next generation of, of institutional provision of liquidity down through the chain.
Amazing. Shout out to CNBC television for that. All right, real quick, we have BlackRock revealed the BlackRock Bitcoin address has been identified. Mr. Crypto KJ, thanks for this. It shows right here, Coinbase Prime, $72 million in there. It says the address has 227, almost 228 Bitcoin funded on January 5th, corresponding fully to BlackRock's own prospectus. So this says that they bought that many BTC on that day. That's interesting that they man, I wonder if this is the only holdings that they have. That's weird though. Well, I mean, I guess yeah, they're probably gonna just keep it on an exchange because Coinbase is one of their what's it called, one of their partners in this spot ETF, which is interesting. All right, let's get over here and check out what Altcoin Daily has to say about this whole JP Morgan thing, right? JP Morgan CEO warns crypto holders Bitcoin to zero. Your pet rock. Hit that like button, please.
Yeah, but gold's limited in supply.
So is Bitcoin.
And it's been used. So you think so, huh?
I do.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins,
they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
Billionaire Jamie Dimon just gave his final prediction on Bitcoin.
This is the last time I'm ever going to state my opinion.
The reality of how he sees crypto evolving.
If you can't solve the bad use cases, the government's probably going to have to close it down.
And
can I ask a question? Why do they go outside like that?
With you, because this is info that Jamie Dimon does not want you to see.
I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory.
The CEO was first asked about the stock market. Like we saw in 2023, will 2024 continue to go up?
I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory. And, and when stock markets are up, it's kind of like this little drug we all feel. Like, it's just great, But remember, we've had so much fiscal and monetary stimulation, so I'm a little more on the cautious side.
Stream shouldn't be lagging. It's working good on my end. Huh.
That we are facing a lot of things in 24 or 25. And we mentioned Ukraine, the terrorist activity in Israel, the Red Sea, quantitative tightening, which I still question if we understand exactly how that works. I don't think we do.
Really? The stream's lagging for everybody? It's not lagging on my end. This is fine. Weird. I'm not even getting like a warning or anything. Strange.
How QE actually worked, what the effect of negative, zero rates was for all this time.
Yeah, it's this guy's fault. Just blame him.
Eat shit, Gary.
And obviously the politics, and and then the Ukrainian war is affecting oil, gas, food, migration. So you have all these very powerful forces that are going to be affecting us in 24 and 25.
Now, typically markets do well in election years, especially when the incumbent wants to remain in power. Jamie is still cautious, but then because of these 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs that are now trading, Jamie was asked, have you updated your opinion?
Bitcoin.
Eat shit, Gary.
This ETF was approved just about a week ago now, and I think a lot of people are trying to understand what it ultimately means. JP Morgan, I imagine if you were a client of JP Morgan, you could call your broker and say, get me some of this ETF. What are you telling your brokers to tell them back when they make that call?
Yeah. So this is an important thing. This is the last time I've ever talked about this in CNBC. Okay. So help me God. Blockchain is real. It's a technology. We use it. It's going to move money. It's going to move data. It's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years too. And
they've been talking about it for 12 years. I love how he tries to take credit for shit he didn't do.
Very small. Okay. So I think we've wasted too many words in that. Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and that we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing things.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases.
Good, because it was a terrible joke.
AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see it being used for hundreds, maybe $50 or $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case. Everything else is people train among themselves. So, yeah. Now, okay. Now, my last statement, the last time I ever talk about Bitcoin is I defend your right to do Bitcoin. I think
that's because he's buying it.
Okay. I don't want to tell you what to do. So my personal advice would be don't get involved.
Yes, personally and professionally, JP Morgan is involved. BlackRock names JP Morgan as their lead authorized participant for the spot Bitcoin ETF, meaning that
it's funny. It's funny that Altcoin Daily brought that up too. That's funny because it's true, right? I don't care what they say. I don't care what BlackRock and these other guys say. Just stop talking about it, please. Like, yeah, it's because you're shady as fuck. That's why.
Right. Bitcoin's adoption through being an AP for BlackRock. And also JP Morgan is using Ethereum as JP Morgan's JPM coin. It's $1 billion in daily transactions.
Really? JPM coin on the Ethereum blockchain? Yeah, he hates blockchain, right?
This is on Bitcoin. Their private Ethereum-based blockchain, meaning pay attention to what they do, not just what they say.
What do you make of BlackRock? What do you make of the other firms, the BlackRocks of the world that obviously, and Larry Fink changed his view of this, obviously.
Yeah. Listen.
And maybe he changed his view because you think he genuinely believes in Bitcoin or believed it because he thinks that there's a marketplace for it and he wants to be part of that market. But what do you think of there's about a dozen big financial companies, Fidelity included.
Number one, I don't care. So just please stop talking about this.
I don't want to get caught investing in Bitcoin. That's what he meant to say.
And I don't know what he would say about blockchain versus currencies that do something versus Bitcoin that does nothing. And maybe that's not different than me. But, this is what makes a market. People have opinions. This is the last time I'm ever going to state my opinion.
And then look at this. This is great pushback from CNBC host Joe Kernan.
Gold really doesn't do it.
This is perfect.
Yeah, but gold's limited in supply.
So is Bitcoin.
And it's been used.
You're not going to mine any Bitcoin on an asteroid if you go up into space, are you? You might be able to find some gold, though. That was a good statement. I don't know who said it, but it was extremely true.
So you think so, huh?
I do.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins,
they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell do you know it's going to stop at 21? I've never met one person who told me they know for a fact. They take that
mathematically.
Nobody knows for a fact, you moron.
It can't happen.
Nobody knows anything for a fact.
The last one will be mined in 2150, and it gets harder and harder every time there's another halving. But Jamie, looking back over,
you guys do what you want. I'll do what I want.
As for gold, you can the 6 characteristics that make gold valuable for 4,000 years. They're all present in Bitcoin. That's all I'll say. And I love you, and I don't want to. And I also don't want to be a.
You may, Joe. You may be right.
Yeah.
Like I don't own gold either.
Now, obviously, Jamie loses.
I don't own gold either. He just said. Do you guys think that's true? Honestly, he doesn't own gold. Jamie Dimon, the owner of JP Morgan, doesn't own gold.
His credibility when he says something like one day Satoshi will come back and print more Bitcoin.
I like how they wrote Satoshi.
It's 5 lines of code and not even Satoshi can force us to change it. Meaning if you use a bank, a centralized third party, you have to trust people. Bitcoin is trustless. It's open public code for all to see, for all to pick apart. And what Jamie doesn't...
And it's traceable. It's traceable in like every aspect. You could trace every transaction right down the chain to where it went and where it came from, right? So like, come on.
Realize is that governments aren't banning it. Governments are approving it. They're holding it. They want to make money off it.
I think there's another risk to Bitcoin. If you can't solve the bad use cases, the government's probably going to have to close it down. So
the thing about the money laundering, you can here's the number was 20,000, I think, for U.S. dollars for dollars in money laundering, and it was 35 for how much is done with Bitcoin. So at this point, the dominant,
is
I know, but the dominant
we know about.
Historically, the dominant currency for money laundering has been U.S. dollars.
I understand.
Okay,
and he says I understand because he just accepted defeat.
Quickly, commercial real estate,
and this is even bigger. Howard Lutnick, billionaire, CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, insisted on talking about crypto. Click subscribe if you appreciate these updates.
Guys, 4 more likes, please, hit that like button. I really hate asking, but YouTube's friggin', it's a pain in the ass if you don't get it.
We should talk a little bit about crypto, too, before we finish.
Oh, well, let's squeeze it in. What would you like to say?
So, remember when gold ETFs started? They were very exciting in 2004, and it kind of stayed steady. There was all this hype that everyone was going to buy gold, and oh, come on. So I think Bitcoin ran up. It's kind of stays steady. But when the halving comes, it's going to start to rally and grow. So Bitcoin, I think, will grow. And there's a company that I like called Tether. It's a stable coin. And you know, I manage many of their assets. And Tether Holdings is the name of the group. And the group, I want to say it here with you, from what we've seen, and we did a lot of work, they have the money they say they had. In the last attestation, they said they had 86 billion of assets.
Why is everybody outside? This is on Bloomberg. Why is everybody outside in the snow? I don't understand. Is there a reason? Is it like a holiday we don't know about? What is happening? Why is everybody outside? Can anybody explain this to me? Does anybody actually know why? Like, hey, I don't want to be warm in my studio today. I want to go outside and freeze my tits off.
And 83 billion of liabilities. And I've seen a whole lot. And the firm has seen a whole lot. And they have the money. And so there's always been a lot of talk. Do they have it or not? So I'm with you guys saying...
maybe these news stations don't trust billionaires in their studios, right?
And they have it.
Wow. Backing Tether. And clearing up the FUD, saying the almost $1 trillion in market cap that Tether has printed, it's backed up, it's all there. And in altcoin news, Hello Labs unveils their distribution strategy for Killer Whale series. As you know, it's like a Shark Tank, but for Web3 projects.
Yeah, this is weird to me. I don't know how I feel about this. This is very strange.
Here's me. And you can watch this on Hello Labs' newly introduced streaming platform, Hello TV, where starting from February 8th this year, viewers will have the exclusive opportunity to purchase each episode using the Hello token. The series will run for 5 consecutive weeks, with a new episode premiering each week. So that's the Web3 distribution release. And then following the Web 3.0 premiere, Killer Whales will then make a splash across mainstream streaming platforms from March 14th of this year. So watch it first through Web3, or it'll come out on more traditional streaming platforms in March. And also, Hello Labs plans to adorn Killer Whales on billboards.
All right, I thought he was going to talk about something else besides just this for the rest of the time. Anyways, what do you guys think about this nonsense? We're going to get into the recap segment of things. Appreciate you all for hanging out, and thank you for the 100 likes. You guys are awesome. Appreciate that very much. All right, let's get into let's look over here real quick. Let's see what we're looking like price wise. Looks like Bitcoin's back in the green. Nice, look at that. 42,571. Look at that, climbing slowly. Markets open up what, in 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes? Not too bad. Ted said they are at the World Economic Forum. Oh, okay. All right, so they're actually somewhere. All right, that makes sense. I was so lost. I'm like, why are all these news stations just outside in the cold, freezing their ass off for no reason? All right, somebody said something about ETC POW, and now I gotta look at it. And stay away from that Gore coin or whatever it is, because it's a scam. Let's see. ETC POW. Let's see how bad it is. Oh, that is terrible. What is happening to this coin? This poor coin. It's ruined. It's getting ruined by the second. All right, let's look at the lithium. What's the lithium at? All the alcohol. Oh, boo. I knew I should have sold this at 220. I mean, yeah, 225. Damn it. That's rough. That's all right. Hopefully it'll go back up. We'll see. We'll see. Just hold, guys. You're gonna see pullbacks, right? Everything's normal. Like this shit happens. You're gonna have pullbacks. Nothing's gonna go up forever. So just keep that in mind. Looking at altcoins, right? Yeah. I mean, whatever. We still got some. I mean, these charts suck, but who knows? Could be making some sort of flag. Who knows? All right. So let's look at what other coins. Let's look at Neoxa. How's Neoxa doing? Neoxa is looking like it's up 1.64%. Nice. Geek of all trades says this is fine. Everything's fine. I love that little meme. It's hysterical. Let's see. Good. Maybe people will jump off to something else. Yeah, at least you hope so, right? I'm actually mining everything. My entire farm's actually on lithium right now, so that's yeah, that's that. But I'm going to I don't know. Let's actually, you know what? Let's look at Pyron. Because Pyron is on the top of the charts for GPUs. Oh god, why is it? It's not even 3 cents, and it's saying it's, man, top of the charts. How? Hash rate must be low as shit. I don't know. Strange. Can you guys solo mine this? Does anybody know? Can you solo mine Pyron? Does anybody know? Let me know in the chat. I'm interested to know. All right, what other coins? Let's look up Carlson. What's Carlson looking like? Oh my god. Let's see. Yields, yes. Okay, yeah, yields are killing it then. That makes sense. I know. Congrats on less stress, Crypto KJ. Less stress. What's wrong? Game of Smoking Man. No, I swapped out ETC at 60 cents. Hell yeah, good, smart. Yeah, you know what, dude? Honestly, it's not a hold for me. It was an immediate swap, regardless. Can you solo mine Nexa? That's a good question. I don't know. I've never done it. I've never done it. K Heavy Hash has like 120 forks. Let's see. Carlson. I don't know what you're trying to say. Overboard. I'm sorry. Yeah, like take it back a notch from like you're like nerd levels up here. Take it down to like here, like normal people to understand what you're saying. Yes, you can solo mine Pyron. Okay, where? Do you guys know? Let's see. If you guys don't know, this miningpoolstats.stream is a good place to come and look to see where you guys can more or less mine any type of pool. You can find new coins here. You can find specific algorithm coins. Look at it, solopool.org looks like one, right? Where, you know what was the other one? Who just asked? Nexa. Can Nexa be solo mined? Let's see. I'm assuming. I would assume. Is there any solo pools here that can mine? Solo, yeah, right here. Oh, duh, right here. If I just looked at the pool fee thing, right? It says solo. You can see basically any website that has solo that says solo like that. So yeah, you can solo mine it. Apparently, K1 pool, you can solo mine it, but K1 you need to like KYC. It's weird. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. The whole setup to get on that is just a pain in the ass. 2 miners. You could wait. What? 2 miners? Really? Let's see. Let's just see. You can solo mine Nexa on 2 miners. Oh, you can. Wow. Look at that. Wow. 2 miners has everything, to be honest. You do a lot. Look at that. Nice. That's cool. Grin solo, Beam solo, Carlson. Oh, you can solo mine Carlson too. Look at that. No Pyron on here though. Weird. I wonder with my KS zeros if it's more worth it to solo mine Kaspa or not with all 8 of them. Actually, you know what, Mr. Crypto 440, if he's still here, I didn't pack that KS0 original up yet. I gotta do that too. I forgot. Totally forgot actually. Let's see. F mining guides, love your name. You don't need a KYC with K1 pool. It's like a huge setup or startup mining place. Let's see, Pyron. Let's see, solo mining optional. Look at that. There it is. You can do it. Minimum payouts 1 Pyron. 18.62 terahashes on the network. No stream. Why is everybody saying the stream died? No. Why does it keep doing that? It says excellent connection. Look, I'll show you guys. Right here. Excellent connection. I have not had any lagging at all on my end. That's weird. Maybe they're shutting me down. They're trying to shut me down because they're talking shit about Jamie Dimon.
Eat shit, Gary.
Eat shit. Eat shit, all right? Because you suck. You know you're a scumbag. And you're a liar. And you freaking invest into Bitcoin. And you say you don't. Piece of shit. All right, anyways guys, I gotta get the hell out of here. You guys all have a fantastic and happy Thursday. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna go see if Miss Teen Crypto is live. I'm not sure if she is. I gotta see. Let me try to redirect actually over to her before we get out of here. If she is live. All right, there we go. All right, she's gonna be live soon in about 15 minutes or so. So you guys go enjoy that. I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day and peace out.
Eat shit, Gary. You are a loser. You always lose.
This hash rate's going bonkers.
Eat shit, Gary.